Okay, I have some embarrassing story time coming up later in this video, but first, if you're a single guy or if you've been married for a long time, it's important that you get through this video for a few different reasons. First, and I'm gonna talk to all you married guys right now, there might be a few things that you've just stopped doing to impress your wife or to spark some of that romance because you just sort of got comfortable. And if you've been married for a long time, some of the things that you did when you were dating just sort of get overlooked at this point. And if you're a single guy and you're out there trying to find that long-term relationship, there might be some things that you're not doing on your dates that you could be doing, or at least should be doing, in order to stand out from the crowd and let her know that you're somebody different. So let's get into it. First things first though, you saw the thumbnail and you read the title, so you know what you're getting yourself into. And I don't want to hear any BS in the comments about that women should just like me for who I am on the inside and I shouldn't have to impress anybody. That is absolute horseshit. There are people that you need to impress, and then of course, there are people that you don't need to impress. There's a difference and you should know the difference. And really quick here, I'm not trying to come off like some pompous dirtbag, but I'm just tired of comments that I'm getting and emails that I'm getting from all these guys who keep saying it's the other person's fault, like it's today's modern women who's the problem. And sure, there is going to be a lot of that, but most of that new behavior is coming from much younger women. And chances are, if you're watching this video, you're at least 40 years old, so my guess is you're looking for a woman, a mature woman, with a good head on her shoulders, not some immature 22-year-old girl. All right, let's talk about some etiquette that you should know. When she's getting in and out of your car, you open and close the door for her 100% of the time when she's getting in, and depending on the situation, helping her out can be a little bit optional. So if you park the car and she waits for you, you walk around and open her door. But if she just gets out on her own, that's fine too. But you always open the door to your car when she gets in. And when it comes to opening a door to like an establishment, like a restaurant, you open the door for yourself, you enter first, and then hold the door for her so she can walk in and kind of slide up next to you. Most men open the door and let her enter the room first. Those are good intentions, but proper etiquette is you enter the room first. I know though, sometimes it can get a little bit weird if there's other people kind of walking in and out at the same time. Just do your best when you have that opportunity. Then in a restaurant situation, you handle the hostess stand and check in for your reservation. And when you're being brought to your table, you walk first, not her. Again, if you let her go first, I get it, those are good intentions, but it's technically incorrect. You should arrive at the table first so you can pull her chair and get her seated first. After that, then you sit down. And just to back up for 1 second, when you're walking to your table, hold her hand and lead her. Now, if it's really tight spaces, grab her hand as you're starting to move towards your table, and then maybe move your hand back behind you and lead her that way if you're walking in between some tables. Of course, it all depends on the situation, but just try it and do your best. Okay, let me fast forward just for a minute and then we'll circle back, because sometimes when you're on a date, things go better than expected. And I mean way better than expected, and you end up back at your place or her place. Are you ready? What is your freshness situation? You better be wearing breathable underwear and you better use some ball powder. Gentlemen, do this right now if you can. Take your hand, jam it down your pants and slide up the side of your balls where they connect to your leg, and then smell your fingers. Is it nasty? Do you think she wants to smell that? My apologies for being shocking, but shower and use a little bit of ball powder before your date and wear high quality breathable underwear. So cotton is a great natural breathable fiber, but it absolutely sucks for underwear, and here's why. Cotton underwear fits great, right out of the dryer, but after just a short time with you moving around a little bit, they get stretched out and they don't retain their shape. That's why that underwear loses support, looks terrible, and gives you a wedgie after an hour. And that is where Silk Cut underwear comes in. Gentlemen, I have talked about this brand before, and I mentioned that I'm very picky when it comes to the underwear that I actually wear. Now, trunks like this are my favorite style, and also the style that most women actually prefer. These, hands down, are the most comfortable underwear I have ever worn because they're ultra breathable and they maintain support all day long. Okay, let me try to paint a picture and give you an example of what these feel like. Wearing these almost feels like you're not wearing anything at all because of how thin and soft this material is. These are designed for extreme comfort and support with a sleek, seam-free design. These are made with these bonded waistbands and these leg openings, so it gives you a seamless look underneath all your pants. And you get the perfect balance of support and room right where you need it the most. And this amazing silk pouch liner adds an extra touch of style and security. They're made from a blend of micromodal and spandex, so they provide comfort, stretch, and durability. And I'm telling you guys, this level of softness and breathability is just nothing short of absolute luxury. And for a limited time, they're giving all of you an amazing offer of 50%, yes, 50% off your entire order when you use my code. The link and the discount code are gonna be down below in the description. Once again, guys, 50% off your entire order for a limited time. You've gotta try these. All right, let's back things up to when you go meet her or you go pick her up. And this applies to whether you're married or single. This is when you give her a genuine compliment and you deliver that compliment with meaning. And with meaning, I mean, if you're feeling it and she looks amazing, say so. Let your mouth drop open and say something like, wow, you look absolutely amazing. You are so stunning. Don't say some generic crap like, hey, you look great. Come on, man, you can do better than that. Use words like stunning, radiant, incredible, and glowing. You get the idea. And try to find something specific that you like. So maybe it's the way she has her hair done, or maybe it's the dress. Be more creative than just saying, you look great. Everybody tells her she looks great, but you tell her she's stunning. Guaranteed, she'll love it. Also, listen to what she says and then retain that information for later. So if this is a new date, chances are you guys have been chatting a little bit prior to the date, and maybe she mentioned something about her family or where she's from. Bring that up again in conversation. Retaining information that she gives you and bringing it up again, maybe a few days or weeks later, shows that you're listening to her and it signals that what she says is important to you. Something else that has to do with conversation is just letting her talk. Let her go as long as she wants and try not to interrupt her, and don't try to win the conversation. So maybe she said something about getting a flat tire. Don't just jump in right away and tell her your story about getting 2 flat tires. See what I mean? She was telling you a story and you just took all the wind out of her sails. Now, I know it's easy because what she said relates to something that happened to you, but just try to be aware of it. All right, these next few are pretty huge, and then afterwards I'm gonna tell you a very personal, embarrassing story that happened to me on a date. But right now, we're gonna talk about how you treat people. If you treat children, animals, and service staff at restaurants with kindness and respect, I'm telling you it's a complete game changer, and she will absolutely notice. Here's something else. When you're ordering food, try not to say, can I get? Like, can I get the tuna? Say, may I have the tuna? Especially if you're at like a nicer place, because may I have is a lot more impressive than can I get? Another way to impress her is to be on time and be well dressed. This goes for you single guys as well as for all you married guys as well. If you're taking her out somewhere, you know for a fact that she's putting in effort to look good. If she doesn't, that's a red flag and a whole different video. But 99.9% of the time, she's getting the hair ready, she's getting the makeup ready, she's put thought into what she's wearing, including her shoes and her handbag. Basically, every single aspect of her appearance has been thought about. And if you show up in flip-flops or a t-shirt, you're completely missing out on all those bonus points that you could have had during that initial first impression. She wants you to look good. I promise, in the same way that you want her to look good, right? She wants to walk into a room with you and have other women be jealous of her. She wants to feel like you care enough to respect her and respect the occasion by putting on your big boy pants and dressing like a man with some self-worth. All right, here we go. It is story time, and if you made it this far, I would appreciate you hitting that like button. So, all right, I'm out with this young lady who's super cool. I take her to this sort of trendy restaurant with like really cool vibes, and we order drinks and a few appetizers to share. She orders the tuna and I ordered the carpaccio. Now, the tuna comes out first and goes right in the middle of the table. Now, keep in mind, this is that fancy raw tuna that's just barely cooked on the outsides. And if you're not familiar, it looks a lot like beef. So I grab a few pieces to put on my plate, and then she grabs some for her. And this is where it gets a little bit embarrassing, because in full disclosure, at that moment, I didn't know if that was the tuna or just thicker cut carpaccio, because generally carpaccio comes out like really, really thin. Anyway, I take a bite and say something funny like, "Is this land or sea?" Now, meanwhile, she's over there chewing on her bite, and at that exact moment, she told me she doesn't eat beef. Oh shit. She gets up from the table, walks over to the bathroom to spit out her bite, and at this point, I'm thinking this date is completely ruined. But while she's gone, the carpaccio comes out, and it looks exactly like it should, so there was no mistaking what that was. So she comes back out, obviously looking really embarrassed, and I tell her the good news that she just didn't eat beef. It was the tuna. It actually turned out to be kind of a funny moment, but I think the point is, I feel like I lost some points because I didn't recognize what was brought to the table. I mean, if both items came out together at the same time, it would have been a no-brainer, but that's just not what happened. I should have known the difference, and I feel like that's on me. Anyway, we both laughed about it, and the rest of the date went really well. But the lesson here is, when something lands on your table and you're not exactly sure what it is, just ask. And with that, gentlemen, please subscribe if you're not already. And as always, my friends, thank you so much for watching. Live well, and I will see you in the next one.